We are live. We are live. All right, folks. Welcome. Welcome. It's the last weekend of the Black History Month. But I'm going to start off with the song. Nope. Boom, bam, bam. There we go. There we go. Okay. Another episode of the Things I Wish I Knew About Money podcast. I'm your host, Kamille Smith, and I just wanted to share a light of how this week has been. First of all, I want to thank, I don't want to say it wrong, so I'm going to look for the photo so I know I'm saying it wrong. Right. I managed to do a webinar this week with Igniter. So it was just basically talking to lovely entrepreneurs, Black entrepreneurs, and talking about taxes and stuff. So I thought today would be a great day to talk about that. And however, throughout the week, I also attended ACBN's Legacy Symposium. I always do a tongue twister with that. And that was lovely as well. There was a lot of networking happening. I learned a lot. Dr. George Fraser was there. Byron Nelson was there. Andre was there, bigging up. He's really bigging me up. So I'm really honored. So you already know what sound I want to make. However, the soundboard I used to have, mash up. So it doesn't want me to be great, but I do have it. It's a different sound. It's okay. It's a different sound. It's okay. But you already know I can make it already. So thank you, Ryan Knight, for once again having a 2-day conference just to speak to also more Black entrepreneurs about how to get the business rolling and running into a way that you want to be. And anyone that's an entrepreneur and they have time for like a 2-day conference, please sign up next year. I did it last year and this year I attended. So you would really benefit from it if you were to attend. So just do it next year. As soon as you see it, or actually, as soon as I see it next time, I'll post it on the IG, or I'll post it on YouTube and all that great stuff. So you guys can be up to date and aware and all that good stuff. Normally, at the end of the month, I would talk about investing and all that great stuff. But as y'all see what's happening in the world, it's gotten hectic as of late. So I thought instead of talking about that, I want to focus on the tax season, because that is happening as of right now. So I would just like, briefly tell you guys certain things to just be prepared for. And yeah, and it's gonna be a little fun. And I know you guys see the title of the episode, and you're like, oh, does that mean Kamille's gonna get a refund? It all depends on what you were doing in 2021. Like, were you taking into consideration of things Andre and I spoke about like last year? If you remember one of our episodes, we spoke about like TFSAs, RRSPs, RASPs, and basically TFSAs is the tax-free savings account. That's a way to protect, I'll say protect for now, don't quote me, to protect the money that you've already paid taxes on and not having to pay more taxes. And also there's the RSP, which is the lovely retirement. Wait, I always stumble on it too, and I don't want to say it wrong. So please be kind to me, folks. Be kind to me. The retirement, oh my gosh, registered retirement savings plan. Yes. So that is a tax deferral where you're able to bring down your taxable income. And we always talked about, oh, which one's better? Should you do the TFSA or the RSP? And it all depends on how much money you're actually making and your company too. So that's something I want to remind you because, and the reason why I'm saying the RRSP at the moment is because the deadline to contribute for 2021 is March 1st. So Tuesday. So if you hear this on Wednesday, you're out of luck. So really and truly try to double check to see if you contributed enough. I know more times when people look at that, they're looking at to see like, oh, okay, I want to get a refund. So how much money do I contribute? You have to you have to have all your stuff prepared already for anyone to actually answer that question. Or you could do a ballpark, right? Not sure if you guys like doing the little ballpark, but it happens. So let's see. First things first with the taxes. So everyone knows that this happens every year. So it kind of I'm kind of intrigued, or I always ponder how some people don't know what to bring to a tax specialist, tax preparer, and all that good stuff, which is fine. Guess what? If you want to get your taxes done by myself, by me, by Andre, or others that I can refer other people as well. There's some people that have been in the game longer than me and know there's stuff like this. There's a certain questionnaire or checklist that you should review to know what you should be, bringing to your tax specialist, tax preparer, and all that stuff. So I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, a couple of them, because it seems ever so often you guys just forget. And I'm just like, oh, why'd you forget? So first things first, it is ideal I'm going to say it's ideal for individuals that are 18 and up. You should be signing up to a CRA online account. And please remember your password. Every year I hear people, oh no, I don't remember my password. Guys, just write it down. Honestly, there's gonna be a time when you have to write down your stuff, right? So I would say write down your password. And if you have a trustworthy tax preparer or tax specialist, you can also authorize them onto your account as well. So you don't have to worry about like, oh, I don't know where this is, I don't know where that is, because for certain things that happen, you have to have your notice of assessment. So it's very ideal to have your notice of assessment because you'll be able to, you know, be able to get the right information, tax preparer, and all that good stuff. Also, you want to also know where your T4 is, or whether you have a T4, whether you have a T5, whether you have, so wait, let me explain. Okay. There is going to be different tax, and I'll call them tax forms that you receive from your employer, from your bank, from tax forms and tax receipts from businesses as well. So say you did donations, say you did donations, you have your medical deductions, you have your union dues. Those are things that you're going to receive from either a business or your employer. Your employer will always give you a T4 or a T4A, and that's just you getting a breakdown of how much money you made, how much income you paid, how much you paid with or paid towards your CPP and EI. So you want to be mindful about that stuff, right? And you actually get to know this by December 31st, depending on what program your employers do. You're able to get a gist of this. So for people that have like, oh, how much money should I put in my RSPs? There's actually RSP calculators that you can find online where you can get an idea of how much you should pay back. And remember, with the RSPs, there's a certain contribution room that you have. It's 18% of your earned income from the previous year. So it gives you an idea of how much money you can put in. However, it's 18% of your previous earned income, but the max is about 26,000. I just did it. I don't always remember it, but yeah, just be mindful about how much money you actually put into your contribution room. That's why I said you got to look at your notice of assessment so you'll be able to review that. What else? The T5. So I started doing taxes already because the tax season has officially started on the 22nd of February. So if you have your online account, you can check to see which forms you have already. So that's why I say have the online account so you don't have to worry about, oh, I don't know if I have the forms already. You probably do. You just don't have the account, right? Also, what else is important? The T5. So T5 shows you what interest income you've received or what capital gains you've received. And I know some people are like, what? I had to pay tax on interest? Yes. You see that streams of income that we always talk about, Andre and I? So there's earned income, business income, interest income, rental income. Also, capital gains income. Those are things that you're gonna have to pay tax on. Listen, there's two things you can guarantee in life is taxes and debt. And guess what? You also have to pay taxes for the people that have passed away. So that's going to be interesting this year. And I don't know if I've done an episode about that experience financially, the financial aspect, but I will definitely talk about that soon again, just about wills and life insurance and all that good stuff. But we're talking about taxes. However, what I can say is when it comes to your taxes, I know. Oh, this is for the business people. And if I do run on a tantrum, I will try to get back to the main focus. For individuals that have self-employed and they try to pull a like under the counter type of aspect, please don't. Please don't. Just claim the income you make into your, if you're self-employed, claim that income into your personal tax returns, but it's in a different form. So it's a Schedule T2125, and that just shows like how much money you've made in your business, or whether it's freelanced, side hustle, whatnot, the income that you've received, and then also expenses that you would like to claim. So remember, to the people that want to, actually, no, I'm not going to say that. Just be mindful when it comes to your business on what you claim. And I know a lot of people want to get a refund, but you have to remember when you receive a refund, you're technically giving the government money that you should have had throughout the year. And they're not giving you interest back on it. So I know everyone's waiting like, yo, when the refund come true, I'm just gonna go do this, that. But wouldn't it have been nice if you would have been able to have that money before and be able to invest, have self-care and all that stuff. So that's something that I just like to keep people in, like, wondering about that. Like, instead of just saying like, yeah, I want my tax refund, I want it to be 5,000 and all that stuff. Depending on your lifestyle and whether you have dependents, what tax deductibles you have, it's probably better to be close to zero when it comes to getting a refund. I know some people will not like that idea, but such is life. Also, so I told you about, you should sign up to the CRA online. You should have your notice of assessment to give to the previous person. And also, if you're switching tax specialists or from H&R Block to whatnot, please give them the previous year that you've done, because it gives them an idea of what has happened. And also, depending on what type of tax specialist or tax accountant that you refer to, they will be able to help you and give you critical thinking, and also think about what you're doing this year to be able to prepare. Because remember, there's a difference with like tax planning and like tax strategies. And I think a lot of things that people do is, instead of having a strategy of how they want to have like not pay as much tax back, or having like a decent refund, they just like, take this, and they don't even think about like, okay, well, I could start doing like donations, I could start doing I could think about my the things that I have to carry forward. I think about the RSPs. There's just a lot of things that you want to take into consideration. So instead of just going to any Joe Blow and not even having an idea why things are happening, it's good to actually get someone that's actually going to explain it to you, like sit down and explain it to you. Or when you see the questionnaire, you're like, oh, well, I didn't think about that. Wow. Also, I remember what I was also going to say. Do not lie. Do not lie to your tax specialist or tax accountant, because they will clearly find out in the long run. Especially if they've been doing it as long, like if they've been doing it for decades, they already know. Okay, guys, they already know. So just try to be honest. And if there are things that you forgot to disclose, just let them know. Because the last thing you want is that they do your taxes and you get audited. Mm-mm-mm. When you get audited. Jeez. So with that, in that case, with being audited, you want to keep your documents for at least 7 years. Yes, it's tedious, but I've seen people get audited like 2 years after. I've heard of like artists being audited like 5 years, and that's some drama. I don't know if I would want to be experiencing that. So I always keep my stuff. I have a box, I strictly for tax purposes. So I would even say that for individuals, especially people self-employed and corporations, you have to have a place where you keep your taxes. So it just makes your life easy. What else? Oh, I also wanted to do a brief rundown on deadlines. So anyone that is just a personal tax return and you owe, so the deadline is April 30th. Okay, April 30th is the day taxes are due for 2021, especially the amount that you owe. And I'm not saying you should do this, but it is okay. It's kind of okay. If you don't owe, you know you're getting a tax refund, yes, you can wait until after April 30th. We are not like in 2020, where because of the pandemic, the date was pushed back. No, that no longer is in store. Okay, that no longer is an option. So don't even try it. Like, oh, what about that year when it was pushed back till like June? That was in 2020. Sadly, I thought they would have done it in 2021 as well, but I guess the government wanted their money back. Also, we don't have to worry about CERB anymore, unless you owe the government back because you did. If you tried to pull a fast one, you owe back. If you didn't try to pull a fast one, you're okay. So hopefully, no one knows those, or no one owes CERB back, because that would be horrific. But also not horrific. That was the wrong word. But if you do owe by so if you owe approximately more than $3,000, you do have the option of splitting that amount into quarter payments, so installments, and or you can give a call to the CRA and make a payment plan with them. Depends. I would personally, let me see. Nah, personally, if it was $3,000, I would just split it in 2 or 3 and just pay them back as soon as possible. However, the due date is April 30th. And if you don't pay that time, then they're gonna, put some interest. So you remember how if you were getting a refund back and they don't have to pay interest, guess what? If you owe them, you're gonna have to pay interest. So please be mindful, pay that as soon as you can by April 30th. So anyone that knows for sure that they owe, do it in March. Just do your taxes in March. It just makes more sense. What else? Ooh, for individuals that are self-employed or their spouse or partner is self-employed, your due date is actually the due date to file taxes is June 15th. Gotta confirm. I just did a post about this. Give me a second. Just want to confirm. I believe it should be June 15th, but it's still, so self-employed, if you still owe, you still have to pay April 30th. So regardless, you should just do your taxes early, especially if you know you owe. Okay. And also the RSP contribution deadline is March 1st, which is Tuesday. Remember, if you hear this on Wednesday, you're screwed. You got to pay attention. Actually, I think it's very important for certain deadlines that you should keep in your calendar, especially if you do RSPs. So definitely try to stay consistent with that. I even know like individuals that wanted to do donations and they thought that the donation period was the same time as the RSPs, and that's not the case. That is December 31st. You gotta, boom. Right? Also for self-employed individuals, the end of the year, make sure you check your odometer. I think I said it right. Just check how much miles you've driven throughout the year, and then be able to mark your business kilometers as well. That's really important. That's the one thing I try to remind people. As soon as December 31st comes and it's around like 9 p.m., 10 o'clock, I'll send someone and say, guys, you gotta do this, okay? Please just mark it so you remember. Also, what else? So be mindful of what you do throughout the year. Plan accordingly. Instead of just tax planning, we can do tax strategies, because it will just help you in the long run. If it comes to like getting a tax preparer or a tax specialist, do a little bit of research, not even research, do some interviews. Get a feeling of that person to see if they're able to keep you accountable of like giving you the best service, and because I do it as much as possible, I try to give a different service, or I try to switch it in a way that the questionnaire will help us figure out things, and then you can be mindful about that within the year. And also, I like to show, obviously, in the podcast and everything, that there are certain things you want to be mindful about. So RSPs, donations, medical, all that good stuff. So self-employed. So there are certain things that happen throughout the year that some self-employed folks aren't mindful about, and that's expenses. Good old expenses. So anyone that's freelance, anyone that is self-employed, sole proprietorship, partnership, especially if you're registered, you want to have a system where you're able to know how much money you made and how much money you spent. Some of the common ones that I find a lot of folks don't think about is bad debt. So bad debt is when someone, them times when you loan money and you never get it. Well, in a business, when you send out an invoice and you don't get the money, you can actually claim that as bad debt. You don't want that to happen a lot in your business, obviously. And if you do get it, if you do get that money, then you would have to claim it as income in the next year, right? So that's one thing that people don't think about. I believe people don't think about bank charges, interest charges. If you have a credit card, you can, a business credit card, sorry, a business credit card, you can claim some of that interest. And if you have a bank account, a business bank account, checking account, not your personal. Remember, separate those two, please. For the love of God. I think it's really important for individuals to know when you have a business, you should just have a separate account for that business, because not only if you get audited, you're going to get, especially if you get audited and they have to look at everything, you just don't want that. You don't want the CRA to be looking like, oh, so what's this? Oh, that was personal. Okay, what about that? Personal. It's kind of embarrassing, right? So just be mindful about that. If you have a business, please, please, please separate. Have a personal bank, have a personal checking account, and have a business checking account. It makes your life easier. What else? Another common expense that individuals don't think about are professional fees. So I think things that happen is that people don't like spending money on certain things they don't understand. So they don't like spending money to pay for like an accountant or a lawyer. But when you have a business, you can actually claim that. So you just make sure you get a receipt. Vehicle expenses. So you have a vehicle that takes you to point A to point B for your business, and you have to do an oil change, you have to fix your tires, you got to register your license, you can claim that. However, remember what I said, you have to figure out your whole, the whole miles you've driven or kilometers that you drove throughout the year, and then how much was for business, and then you can deduct it from that. So that's another thing that people aren't mindful. So every time I go to my mechanic and I'm like, can you please give me a receipt? They're like, oh, I'm gonna have to put tax. I'm like, I don't mind. I can claim it. Trust me, I want to make sure I be able to claim it. So that's one thing. And I know there's another one. There's another important one. But those are the ones that I can think of at the moment. So I wanted to keep this one short. Just be ready for tax season. You have till April 30th. Taxes is not as easy as everyone thinks. So when they complain about the prices, or if you complain about the prices, you get what you pay for. So in that case, if you guys want to do business with me again this year, I do have a questionnaire. So please email me at info@fitnanspsych.com, and I'll be able to provide the questionnaire, and then we can, throughout what I do at the end of once I've done the taxes, I also like to give you an idea of how to make things better for the year to come, and also just give you other strategies, because it's not that hard. Like you have to be strategic on what you do throughout the year, and also just think about the rich people that don't have to pay as much tax back. They know what to do to be able to pay less tax, and that's like, sad to say, people that work in a business, like, no, not work at a business, sorry. People that work for an employer actually pay more taxes than others. But like I explained with common expenses that people don't think about, that is the reason. You see it when, what's his name? Jeff Bezos, Trump, all those good stuff. So people actually get mad when they're like, yo, but those people don't pay taxes, because you actually, let's see it this way. A person that provides a business is giving someone a job, is doing something for the government to be able to reimburse them. An investor also has to pay income. Sorry, they also have to pay tax on the income that they make, but it's not as much as if it was employed, because you're part of a business or a corporation, so you don't have to, the tax rate for dividends or interest is much smaller than having the earned income from an employer. So I just want you guys to be mindful about that. So like when it comes to what you should do with your RSPs or what you should do with your other savings accounts, be mindful about that, because there's certain things that you can do. And that's why you have me, and that's why you have other folks that will be able to explain this and give you the best bang for your buck. So don't always think that H&R Block is the way to go just because you want to get your instant cash back. Remember, if you get a refund, you'll be getting it back in a week. A week is not that long, folks. I'm just saying. But yes, I'm going to cut this short. I just want to come jump on here, and it is Black History Month still, but it's Black History Month, or it's Black History every day. I just had to wear some, Rooted by Royalty, just to shout her out. And also this month, I've been giving flowers to Black Canadians that have been doing stuff in their industry, whether I've met them. Most of the people I have met, and most people I've done business with, or I have done business with, or I am doing business with, or they're just close loved ones. So I'm gonna keep praising them and giving them their flowers. And I hope everyone for like Black History Month was able to learn something new about a Black Canadian company, or able to give back to the community and all that great stuff. But on that note, folks, be kind, tell people you love them, because it is rough these days, folks. Okay? Got all same music. Choo! Oh no!